Hey, hi, and hello, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, or Goodthony Daytano here, the internet's most positive music nerd with only nice things to say. It has come to my attention recently in some of my comments that there have been people who, for whatever reason, have been displeased with some of my more negative coverage around like the end of the year stuff. Most notably, my worst albums of the year list, my worst songs of the year list. And as some of the responses have shown, some people are just not happy with the direction some of these videos are taking. I'm too negative, I'm too mean, I'm going out of my way more than I need to express just very not nice, not positive sentiments about music I'm not all that crazy about. And honestly, some of these comments and the framing within them, I'm a little confused about. One, a lot of them discuss this more negative content I do as if like this is slowly becoming more and more of a part of my personality and my output and my content release cycle, and it's like slowly taking me over like a Venom taking over Spider-Man. I'm slowly becoming just like this evil, bitter, negative guy who just hates on all this music because it's so fun. Meanwhile, the worst songs and worst albums of the year video series, I've been doing this for years at this point. Like I'm not doing any more of this content at this point that I've done in the past. It's not as if there's like a huge increase in these types of videos, or that I'm going out of my way to make more than I need to necessarily. I mean, just keeping it to simply list week, these types of videos didn't even take over or define the majority of my list week content. Most of the videos I put out during this past list week season were speaking positively about records that I would like you guys to spend your time trying out and listening to, be that through the honorable mentions video, the best EPs video, best songs, best albums. To match my overrated albums video, Austin and I actually even put together an underrated albums video of a bunch of releases that I didn't even review. Weirdly, despite these comments and sentiments being so loud and sometimes obnoxious, that video still currently sits under the amount of views that the overrated albums video does. So where the hell these people are when I do a video where I'm speaking positively about a bunch of records that they should check out, I don't know. I mean, it could be on them, but I'm not against kind of laying a lot of that at the feet of the algorithm too, because the way YouTube and a lot of social media works, I mean, it tends to show people stuff based on the likelihood they're going to interact with it, even if that is through a hateful or an angry comment or a thumb down. So of course, when I do come out with a negative video or a video really lambasting an album or a song or whatever, that's only going to increase the likelihood that people are going to angrily interact with it. And then YouTube, of course, is probably going to make a bigger effort to make sure that video gets spread to more people who will likely also react to it negatively or badly or angrily. But still, even in the instances where you do happen to stumble upon a video like this of mine, where I am talking about a bunch of records that are sort of overrated for me throughout the year, many of you should know by now that I've been doing this whole YouTube music reviewing thing and music coverage thing for over 10 years now. There's nothing stopping you from like clicking on my channel and sleuthing around to see if in fact your presumptions about my negative to positive content ratio is what you presume it to be. Because if you actually do look, you'll find that a great deal of my content every year is geared towards singing the praises of records that I think are great and worth your time and attention. And look, I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. I see the interactions. I know how the internet works. I see the views coming in on certain videos, and I'm completely and very well aware of the fact that, yeah, if I just started like completely slagging all of these albums or going out of my way to find nothing but albums to shit on, maybe I would get more streams. Maybe I would get more views. Maybe I would get more interactions. Maybe I would get more attention. Maybe I would get more engagement. However, after a while, that would just literally be trolling and would get old and would slowly make me hate my job. Look, it's not like I don't enjoy that aspect of what I do every once in a while. For sure, it can be satisfying and even hilarious to listen to a really bad piece of music and just get entertainment out of how off the mark it feels, and then bring that to you guys, tear it apart, and we can kind of, have whatever fun we have with that together. But even to increase that to half of the videos that I'm putting out cumulatively across all of my platforms would just be too much, because who wants to spend all that time listening to music that you don't even like? And for my own mental health, it most likely wouldn't be worth the extra heaps of negative engagement that I would get as a result of it. Lord knows most of the internet hates me without having to go out of my way to make them dislike me even more. With that being said, I see no use in completely avoiding any and all negative interactions with music as far as reviews and everything goes across the board, because frankly, that's not really an accurate portrayal of the artistic reality that we live in. And honestly, I feel like an essential part of the process in terms of understanding what you do like in art is exposing yourself to stuff that you don't like within art, and doing reviews, negative reviews of stuff that I don't really care for all that much for you guys to consume, I think is a part of kind of challenging myself to think about and explain what it is that personally doesn't appeal to me as far as modern music goes. So yes, again, as far as the assessments that all this negativity is slowly encroaching further and further upon like all the content that I do, not true. If anything, as far as like red flannel reviews over the past year, I don't even think I've been doing that many. Austin may have to look over the videos that I put out over this past year, but I don't even think I did that many not goods. There are definitely some records I could have gone out of my way to shit on, like the AJR album with a full-length review, and I know that a lot of people would have just like eaten that up, but I didn't feel like doing it because I kind of feel like I've been there, I've done that. I would rather talk about something that I have more interest in personally. So there are more moments than I think some of you guys are aware where I am actively like choosing not to shit on an album because I would rather put out a positive review or just a review about something I would have a more, I guess, stimulating time analyzing. And again, that's not to say that I'm avoiding negative reviews altogether. I know that I'm going to have to, and I'm going to do them every once in a while, but when I feel that it's not necessary or it's not something that is really essential for me to comment on, I just may not. So as far as my content this past year, further than this past year and going forward, it's never going to be all positive. It's never going to be all negative. It's really about just balance. And as far as another kind of prevailing type of content and narrative in some of these videos, there was a lot of discussion of politics and the politics of the songs that I was discussing in my worst songs of the year list. Frankly, I found a lot of the commentary around this to be obnoxious, annoying, a little clueless, and out of touch. Not only because I have put out a fair amount of reviews over the years in regards to songs and albums where I may personally agree with the politics of it, but the song itself is shit, so it's not as if I'm beyond critiquing a piece of music that I align with ideologically. It's only when the song sucks and the politics behind a song sucks, and I pointed out that it kind of becomes an issue with these people. And on top of it, with this top 10 worst songs of the year list, look, it's not like I was trying to find every single song I didn't politically align with to pack it into this list. There were actually several key tracks, some of which just kind of felt maybe too obscure to bring up, that could have easily made this list, but they didn't, because even I'm aware of the fact that, like, not every song on my worst songs of the year list needs to be some track that I hate because the politics are shitty. I know that, and I get that, believe me. However, I would say this is kind of informed by the fact that these types of tracks were a little unignorable this year. Some of them went super viral or climbed pretty high up on the charts. The Jason Aldean song, for example, it's not like I had to dig for this track. Like, this was handily one of the most popular songs of the year, whether we would like for it to be or not. Finally, let's get into the politics part of this argument that people often overlook in a way, and will dismiss with a hand wave, just kind of saying like, oh, Anthony just doesn't like the song because the politics, da-da-da-da-da. I mean, in part, yes, but let's actually address what those politics are. Because, like, if any of these artists were coming onto the mic to say like, hey man, Property rights, bro. Lower taxes. Hell yeah to the International Monetary Fund. Noise ordinances are important and the backbone of a healthy and stable society. Like, if that's what the politics were that were informing some of these tracks, I have a hard time imagining that I would really get pissed off about any of them. But that's what this stuff feels like it's getting dismissed as when people write out comments like these. What we're actually talking about here are tracks that, through their lyrics, spread hate toward or singularly target members of the LGBTQ community, or spread hate toward poor people or the less fortunate, target urban youth and minorities and people of color as violent thugs. The very same groups of people who I'm sure a lot of these commenters are just dying to praise and show their love for when they drop a record at some point in the year that they love, that they really enjoy and that they think is profound and deep and amazing. Oh man, this is some of my favorite music of the year. But when those same groups of people are in need of your support and defense because there's music and there's media out there and there's systems of oppression that are attacking them, that are portraying them negatively, are stereotyping them or fear-mongering over them, that's annoying and that's too much effort, and to get involved in that muck is just politics. Popular music floating about out there that attacks and spreads false, hateful narratives about gay people, about trans people, about people of color. That's not just politics. That's not just a political speech. That is psychotic hate mongering, and it should be called out. And calling that out isn't just like, oh, you're getting too political. Please don't get so political. The discourse here isn't like local city mill rates or car taxes. The discourse is whether or not there is a widespread conspiratorial gay agenda to turn all of your kids trans. That's literally the discussion that some of these people are having that I'm tearing apart. To hate that and to be disgusted with that isn't just a case of like a mere disagreement. This isn't ice cream flavors. I'm not mad because I like Rocky Road and this other guy over here likes cookie dough. I'm mad because this person is using their platform and doing everything in their power to delegitimize a certain group of people's right to exist in our society with peace, with respect, with freedom, with the capacity to pursue their own happiness. And I think shitting on music that tries to get in the way of that is valid. And I will continue to operate that way going forward, regardless of how many of these comments I get. And I think I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Let me know in the comments. Am I too negative? Am I getting too negative? You're the best. Love you. We'll see you in the next one. Anthony Fantano, negativity forever.